It has been really fun watching all of the conservatives sort of like lose their marbles trying to defend Trump as hard as they can, and then realize they kind of can't because they created this hyper obsessed right-wing party that believes that there are sex trafficking rings everywhere and we need to take them down. And now that there actually was one, they're like, oh, well, like, you guys shouldn't care about that one. That one's not important. That one's really, it's really not important. You shouldn't care about it.
ABC News confirming with two sources tonight. The deputy director of the FBI, the number 2 at the Bureau, Dan Bongino, didn't report for work today. And he may be on the verge of quitting altogether after openly clashing in the White House with Attorney General Pam Bondi over her handling of the case. Now, before he got this job, Bongino was making a living doing stuff like this.
I got a big question about the Epstein files. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
Now Bongino is out there in a suit and tie with the FBI director and former fellow podcaster Kash Patel, trying to unwind all that conspiracy stuff. Last week, he was back on Fox promising a new video that would maybe put the story to rest.
There's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Okay, remember that phrase, gonna give you the original so you don't think there's any shenanigans, right? So sure enough, on Monday, the DOJ released nearly 11 hours of video showing the hallway outside Epstein's cell. That was supposed to prove there were, quote, no shenanigans. But then, as journalist Julie K. Brown noted on our show this week, neither the doors shown there were even Epstein's cell. On top of that, the video was missing 1 minute of recording. Pam Bondi's attempts to explain that missing minute.
We're not going to cover anything up. Here's this video of some other guy's cell. Enjoy.
Didn't really help convince these suspicious conspiracy theorists.
And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Okay, that's it. Done. Now, Bondi had already stepped in it with the Epstein.
We're not going to comment on the fact that the footage wasn't his cell. No comment, nothing to say. Nothing to say.
Obsesses after promising months ago that his client list was on her desk for review, then saying there was no client list this week. Her explanation, the video gap didn't help. And this report from Wired magazine today isn't going to help either. An analysis of the metadata from the video shows the footage was modified, likely using the professional editing tool Adobe Premiere Pro. In fact, they add the file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 source clips, saved multiple times, exported.
The thing that's the most unbelievable about this, I mean, out of all the things that didn't happen, this one definitely didn't happen the most. But the most unbelievable thing about it, everything that the government ever releases, all documents that the government releases, whether they're like official court documents, whether they're official tax documents, whatever, they make them almost like on purpose as inconvenient as possible. Like, I feel like anytime I'm trying to look at like congressional documents, I'm trying to look at IRS documents, I'm trying to look at official filings. It's like there's 15 different fucking exhibits, 27 different files. It's like, oh my God. I really have to download all these. You guys couldn't just like, I don't know, even just put them in a zip file for me. Fuck. But like, this is the one instance where they're like, well, we thought we would make it more convenient by just like putting the 2 videos together. We decided now would be a good time to start making things convenient for the public. It's like, oh, okay. All right. Of course. Now is the perfect time. This is the perfect instance to start doing shit differently. Oh, okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
And then uploaded to DOJ's website where it was presented as raw footage. Now, Wired says there's no evidence the footage was deceptively manipulated. But again, it's not doing wonders for the White House's credibility with precisely the people in their base who are the most skeptical of this kind of thing. And again, that's at the heart of the emerging power struggle in the administration. This isn't some ancillary internet thing, okay? According to the New York Times, it erupted into an angry face-to-face confrontation at the White House on Wednesday when an irate Ms. Bondi accused Mr. Bongino of leaking information to the news media in the presence of FBI Director Kash Patel, the White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and one of her deputies. A source close to Bongino told NBC News today, Bongino is out of control furious. This destroyed his career. He's threatening to quit and torch Pam unless she's fired. Man, you wouldn't want to be a kettlebell in Dan Bongino's home gym on a day like today. It's a common sentiment in MAGA world today. Remember, Trump openly courted all these people, the sort of deep state conspiracy.
Like, what, he's gonna like lift? They go, no. I don't know what that. I don't know what that means. That was a little bit of a soy MSNBC moment. That was kind of a soy liberal moment. It's like, men be lifting, am I right?
Theorists, right? The voters who believe Trump's shtick, that there's some system of bad guys that's.
What did you mean by this? Curtsy, what did you mean by flared-based kettlebell? What did you mean by this?
Rigged against them by the elites, but he's not one, right? And that these elites patronize child sex trafficking rings, and that Epstein was at the heart of it. And this was a critical part of the MAGA coalition. Like, I honestly think the kinds of folks that are sort of believe this are gave him his margin of victory. And today, these people are in rebellion.
This is the most famous in modern day history, and people are absolutely not going to accept just a memo that was written that says there is no client list.
It's not about just a...
Dude, you're so fried when fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene steps away from like the Trump party to speak her truth. I genuinely feel to my core that Marjorie Taylor Greene, none of it is a grift. Like, she believes every single thing that she says. I mean, why else would she be tweeting this type of shit out? First, they said that we were crazy for saying they're controlling the weather and spraying chemicals in our skies. Now they're admitting they're controlling the weather and spraying chemicals in our skies, but that it's not causing any harm. Call me crazy, I don't care, but I'll go ahead and say it. Weather modification and geoengineering is deadly and dangerous, and guess what? They can't prove it's not. My bill will ban weather modification and geoengineering. The government and companies who profit off these practices don't get to control our weather because we're all affected by it. We aren't lab rats, and weather is not a controlled environment. I can't be the only one that thinks this last sentence definitely means that she's a Titan. And she became a Titan because she was experimented on. We're not lab rats. We're not. Okay, just because I can turn into a 500-foot tall Titan doesn't mean I'm not a person, okay? We shouldn't be subjected to these type of trials.
Just a memo that was written that says there is no client list.
It's not about just a ring and all that. It's about who governs us, right? For this to go away, you're going to lose 10% of the MAGA movement. If we lose 10% of the MAGA movement right now, we're going to lose 40 seats in 26.
So we're stupid.
Yeah.
This clip of Andrew Schultz saying, so we're the idiots. So we're the morons that fell for everything and thought Trump would be a good guy when he said multiple times that he wouldn't be. I cannot believe it. What the hell? What is this cope? What is it? This has to be rage bait, right? No one would say something this stupid. It's disgusting how obsessed PDF files libtards are. You know, you can write in here. It's not TikTok, honey. Sweetheart, you're not on TikTok. I see the the 2025 account, so I can tell you're not 40 years old, and I can tell you probably type AHH instead of ass to get around to get around TikTok censoring, but it's okay. You can type what you want to type in here. It's okay. Also, I mean, maybe they can't spell it. That's true. Maybe that's true. Maybe you're right. Move the fuck on. The guy is dead. The witch hunt is literally pointless, idiots. Okay, first of all, as someone who cares very little about the Epstein stuff, who thinks that the entire thing is like, it's so obvious. Anyone that was pictured with Epstein while he was actively trafficking girls, and was above the age of like 60 at the time, it is so unbelievably obvious that those people were involved. We have people today that are like, you know, I mean, sorry, you know, I won't even give any examples. We have Chris D'Elia's today that are out there in the world that defend targeting teenagers because they're like, well, she looked really mature, so I don't know. Those people exist today. I'm sorry. If you're above the age of 60 and you were pictured with Epstein multiple times, we all know what you did. We all know. We all know. The entire purpose of continuing the investigation is to hold those people accountable, first of all. Second, the obsession has been from the right. It has absolutely been from the right. And it's been so overwhelmingly from the right that even when people like Ben Shapiro try to cover it and be like, guys, we should move on. Come on. You guys don't like care about this. Come on. All of the comments are people who are frequent Ben Shapiro watchers decrying this shit. All right, anyways, moving on.
We're the idiots, guys. Just to let you know, we're wasting time.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
That is, like, in all seriousness, that is, I think, what is enraging people right now is it's insulting our intelligence. Like, obviously, the intelligence community is trying to cover it up. Obviously, the Trump administration is trying to cover up. Something changed because they ran on this idea of exposing it all.
Everyone in that world is mad at Bondi and Bongino and Kash Patel right now. But again, I just want to put something out there, something that we've returned to time and time again as you see Donald Trump whispering in the ear of his buddy Jeffrey Epstein as they ogle girls, women. Maybe it's the big guy at the top who has strong feelings about this. Again, you don't have to draw some crazy, contorted conspiracy flowchart to try to connect Donald Trump to that guy on your screen talking to him, Jeffrey Epstein. They were friends for years. But right now, the president would really appreciate it if you all just dropped it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Ken Delaney is an NBC News justice and intelligence correspondent. Brandy Zadrazi is a senior MSNBC reporter. Both of them have followed the Epstein case and the MAGA reaction to the latest obfuscation from the DOJ, and they join me now. Ken, let me start with you. I mean, what we saw happen after that memo was this sort of uprising rebellion in all sorts of sort of precincts of the MAGA coalition, and also not even the MAGA coalition, just generally in social media. That seems to have reached into the very heart of the Trump administration and Justice Department. Tell us what happened today.
Yeah, that's right. And Chris, I should say this is not the first time we've seen this kind of thing happening. There's been a lot of discontent about, for example, why isn't the Justice Department putting people in prison over Russiagate and things like that? But this is the most passionate, the most explosive issue, this Epstein situation. And what happened was Bongino and Patel, by all accounts, were on the same page. They all worked together with Todd Blanche and Pam Bondi and senior DOJ staff to craft this memo where they agreed that there was no client list. He committed suicide. There was no secret conspiracy theory. And then Bongino saw the reaction and he didn't like it at all. And now it's pushed him to the point where he, as you said, he didn't show up to work today. We've confirmed that. And he is telling people that he's contemplating resigning. And there's a larger mosaic here. Both Bongino and Patel have been frustrated with Pam Bondi. They meet with her frequently. It goes beyond the Epstein issue. There's just a clash of personalities there. And, to Bondi's credit, although she did stoke the conspiracy theories. And you reported on this before, and you mentioned it today with the client list on my desk remark. Her people are now saying that she meant the Epstein files were on her desk, not the client list. She could have spent 4 years trying to string along the conspiracy theorists and say that, the files are going to be released any day now. But instead, they decided to get it out, release this memo that says, by the way, this is what investigators have been telling our colleagues who covered this case for years. There is no client list. There's no there. There's no further reason to charge anybody else. But for the Trump Justice Department to say that, knowing there was going to be this kind of blowback, I give them a little credit for that. But Dan Bongino is off the reservation, and there's some indication Kash Patel may be as well, although they're both in different situations. Dan Bongino, we don't know his motivation, but we do know that he made a living as a conspiracy theory podcaster, and he's about to lose the audience that made him a rich man. And there's a moment of truth here. He could leave now and regain that audience if he sticks with this idea that there is no conspiracy theory behind the Epstein affair. He's going to lose that audience. And, Kash Patel will always be the former FBI director when he leaves, and former FBI directors tend to be able to make a lot of money. It's less true about the deputy director. And so Bongino may be considering that scenario right now.
I think Bongino and Pam Bondi are too busy thinking about how they're going to get thrown under the bus to protect Trump one last time, which is it's the Trump strategy. This is the worst thing about being a Trump and being in the Trump camp. If you happen to be placed exactly where he needs you to be placed so that he can avoid controversy, you will get thrown under the bus over and over and over again. Because the Trumpers need to keep blaming other people and not Trump because they need to keep coping that they voted for the right guy.